So hello. I am super excited to see these Zoom boxes opening up with people that want to come and play with Cath in this wonderful world of Hendricks and art. And I'm super excited about what we're going to be playing with tonight. So if you don't know me, my name is Michelle Yasuda, and I'm the program director for the Big Leap Home online programs. And these programs support individuals, organizations, and communities in generating agency, connection, and creativity on our shared planet. And this call that you're on tonight is one of the ways that we do this. So I'll just go over a few logistics and then we're going to get started. So one of the first things I want to say is I want to invite you to our Big Leap Home Network, which is an online gathering space for the Hendricks community. So in this platform, you can connect with the members of the community, you can hear about the latest events, and even ask questions from Katie Hendricks, who loves to be on the community platform. So let's see. So I'll be putting the link for that. If you haven't joined that yet, I'll put it in the chat. And so before I turn the call over, I want to invite everyone into a commitment. So when you listen to these words, notice how they land in your body. We find that learning works best when we choose to bring our curiosity, openness to learning, and appreciation of ourselves and others into the space. So I invite you into that juicy commitment. And now what's left is I'm going to introduce our speaker tonight, our facilitator tonight, by saying an appreciation for you, Cath. And I'm going to let you tell us about yourself, anything that you want to share with the community before your call. So one of the things, first of all, I feel so happy that I got to meet you in person and that we got to share food together. I remember sitting and talking and sharing and enjoying light and easy connection, which is what I feel from you. There's a playfulness, a joy and curiosity for life that is, I can touch it and feel it, and I love it. And so I'm really, really pleased that you were open to sharing with the community your joy of combining the Hendricks work and art. And so I'm going to just turn the call over to you now.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for setting the container and helping me arrive and not be too stressed. And so I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate seeing everybody's faces. Hi, good night, everybody. So I'm really someone that gets really inspired by the Hendricks, and I create a lot with this inspiration. And so tonight I'm gonna share like different things I created, and I think it's things that you could be inspired by to create something of your own, or maybe share a process, or and I'm really open. If you have any question or anything along the way, like please feel free. I got introduced to the Hendricks by Jillian Farabee. She's also from Canada. I'm from Canada. And from the moment I got connected with the Hendricks work and sort of that universe, it's like from that moment, I realized that evolution could be playful. And so that was quite mind-blowing and transformative for me. So I'm happy to share that tonight. So the first thing I wanted to share with you all is cartoon characters that I created in collaboration with an artist here in Canada. Because when I saw the first time I was like doing the fear melters, in my head I already saw like characters. I was like, kids need to see that. And also ended up that I gave workshop and showing them to adults, and adults love them too. So I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna show them. And I see, darling, you're dancing. And I'm gonna show you my screen. Just a second. I'm gonna do the share. Here you go. So they are very, so they all have, so this one you'll see is fight. So they're all pretty colorful. And what's cool also with them is that we decided to put them in environments that are like also real. So when we feel like fighting at work, or we feel sort of that fear come up, we can feel it at work. So that was the fight. And then the antidote for that one, we have the ooze. And so we started to play with the waves and the deformation of the character, and play with the ooze aspect of it. So that was really fun to do. And here I'll show you freeze. So this is the character.
Oh, we lost your the share.
Oh, you lost the share. Thanks for saying.
So we need to see the ooze.
Oh, so maybe I need to do it each time. So this is the ooze. You see it like this. And then here we have the freeze. Okay, so the freeze one, I think you see it, Anna, Michelle. Yeah. So you see here, I did the screenshot of my screen so we can see them, and we see the little characters. So we had the fight that we saw on the left, and on the right hand up, we have the freeze. And on the left hand down, you have to find the characters laying down on the ground behind the bed, and it's in total faint, hiding behind his desk, and the flea on the right bottom side. And I'll show you the antidote for those. And what's really cool is that we created the route. We updated the route since it got changed. So we have a really cool, I'll show you here, share, there you go. So we have the fight and the freeze on the right. That's the antidote, is the wiggle. And you see the bottom, the route. So we thought it was really fun to create the routes, even if it was like in a city sort of environment, because it's nice to have sort of a metaphor that routes can be everywhere. And we did we had fun doing like a graffiti on the wall with the fear melters. And on the left, we have the bottom left, we have the find the love scoops, the antidote for that. So that was really fun. And what I did, that they all live online, and so it's easy for you to actually use them. You can also download them. So if you want to put them in a presentation or anything, and they can be looped easily in a presentation, so you can put them behind you and have them play. Usually I use them, I'm in live and there's a projector, so I'm not always like trying to share my screen and being like, it's a bit choppy, but in person it works quite well to show them like that. So it always makes people laugh. So that's really cool about that. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share with you all. And what I do normally with them is that I share them, and after that we dance following the movement that the character are doing, and it helps a lot of people like sometimes are shy, and so seeing the character move makes them like a bit less shy of doing movement together. So that's really fun. And the other sort of process I wanted to share is a process that I did recently, last September. And in that process, I used many of the Hendricks tools. So I used like the fear melters, the essence space, and the essence interview that I weaved in sort of a experience. And so, oh, Michelle, you're writing, sorry. And so what I was asked to do is to create an experience in which people would go on an adventure. And so this process was done in hotel rooms. It was actually a business conference in Montreal, and I had 3 rooms in the hotel. So I made a little plan because then you can understand what I'm talking about. So you see, oops, sorry about that. Okay, you see my screen, huh? Can you see it?
It's just showing the desktop file now.
Oh my God, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. We'll all do fear melters for you.
Yeah, right? Thank you. Okay. So, so you see like can you see my mouse moving? Yeah, you can see my mouse moving. Okay, cool. So this is the 4th floor of the hotel room, and so you see there's like 3 little like square, and so these are the 3 rooms that I was using. And so people were arriving here, 10 people at the time. And what was really, actually really cool, I'll show you the other image now that you saw this one, is that share. Okay, so people were arriving in the corridor, and I was actually I was hidden. So you see the little like X here, and I was hidden in a room, and I could see with the magic eye people arriving in the corridor, and everybody had like silent disco helmets on. And what's cool about silent disco is that it's wireless, and so I could speak to everybody in the corridor, and they thought it was a pre-recorded voice. And I asked them to remove their shoes, to remove their coats and their phone. And I actually started to make them do the fear melters. So I was giving them instruction in the corridor. And it was quite funny because it was a business conference. So there was a lot of fancy people, no shoes on, and doing the fear melters in the corridor. And they thought it was pre-recorded, but sometimes I was saying, oh, the human with the blue shirt, please move like this, and they didn't know where I was, and I was hidden here. And so after they did the fear melters, and one of the main thing I wanted to do is that I wanted to bring them on an adventure without telling them what they were getting themselves into. So I was doing a little experiment. So they had to do the fear melters. They didn't know they had to do what was the fear melters, but that was the experience. And then I asked them to get in the first room. And so you see like here, I had like cards everywhere lying down on the beds. And it was like all these cards, like sort of a game. And I was asking people all the essence questions, all the essence interview questions. So what's your favorite action verb? What's your favorite moment of the day? What do you like to do most? And all the essence interview questions. So every time I was asking a question, people had to pick a card. And so at the end of the question, they had a few cards in their arms. and they could walk in the 2 rooms. So that was quite cool because you see here one of the hotel rooms with all the cards, and there was art like this. And so they had to forage basically their essence. So instead of like saying with their voice, they were picking a card every time they were answering a question. And at the middle part of it, I asked them, when they had all the cards, we did some also some essence space. So between the rooms, they had to move and also like look at the cards, see what they wanted to pick, and do the essence space. And at the end, what they had to do is that we came together in the last room, which was quite cool. And they had to build a structure with their essence, basically, that they just forage. You see the cards here, and you can do like construction with the cards. And what was quite cool about that is that they sort of could, it was quite cool, the intuition that people had, because they were actually like not thinking too much. They were just like sort of like picking cards, like you pick flower in the field. Or so it was quite interesting. I had a really different experience than doing the essence interview when people are actually like saying the answers. I also did like an experiment where people were drawing the answers, but quite fast. And so it really plays with different parts of themselves, and it's quite fun. And after, so basically it was like fear melters, essence space, essence interview, and at the end we came together. And what I had and after that, I explained what they went through, but only after they told me how they felt and if they had any question. And what was quite interesting is that everybody felt really good and had a sense that they felt really at peace without really knowing what just happened, because it was quite, the whole thing lasted 45 minutes. And so it was interesting to bring them in an adventure without explaining too much. And I realized that was quite fun. And so even someone like told me, like, I feel like I just did like a magic mushroom trip. And it was completely, I mean, it was sober. So that was quite funny to experience. So that was one of the adventures that's where I really saw like the power of the tools and how like combined together, how they create like really surprising magic. So that was really, really fun. Does somebody have questions, or I see maybe something in the chat? No, it's Michelle. Cool. Okay, super. I'll continue. And the last process I wanted to talk about is another process I creating using the essence interview, but also the wonder questions. It's a process that I call soul avatar. And so a soul avatar is basically like a drawing of your essence, a drawing of your soul. And I was always fascinated by the fact that, I mean, like, I learned meditation, and a lot of the times, like, I'm being told, like, okay, turn within, look inside, close your eyes. And a lot of the time when I turn within, it's dark. I close my eyes and it's dark. And so I was like, so what's inside? Like, what? And there's an inner world inside. So the soul avatar is sort of a process in which I illustrate the inner world, and I use the essence interview and the wonder question. And so I send a whole document with all these questions, and people answer the essence interview, but they also pick intuitively wonder questions. There's like a list of wonder questions, and with that I create an image, and with that it's a representation of their soul. So they have sort of a visual anchor of what their interior looks like. And so that started with actually one of the Hendricks people, Susie Baptiste, that asked me to create that for her and her family. So I made 5 for her family. And recently I created one. So the cards, the new cards with the gays quotes on them, I created the art for that. And so I created the image that we see repeated on the back is basically Gay's soul avatar, and I'm gonna show you how I created that. And the other image that you see, I'll show you also, is the universal essence. So it's like we each one have our essence, but Gay also speaks to the universal essence. He speaks to that in the speed of life. So that was quite fun to create also. So I'll show you some visuals so you have the idea of what I'm talking about. So here yes. So on the right, you see the back of the cards, and I wrote below what inspired me that at the speed of life, it says at one point that Gay has a characteristic way of holding his arms skyward during states of deep essence connection. Frequently, at that end of meditation or breathwork session, it just feels right for him to put his hands up. So I thought that was quite an image for Gay and for his soul avatar. And then the soul avatar always comes with a text that you see on the right. And on the left, what you see is actually a virtual museum that I'm creating right now with artists in Montreal, with all the soul avatar that I created so far. So you see Gay's one is also in 3 dimension, but it's also in a frame. I'll show you. So you see, and you see the whole process of the soul avatar, but also my 3D movie, because it's being created now. So you see, like on the left, it's the wireframes. So it's not completely done. It's rendering right now. It's quite long to create the images. And so you see on the right, Susie Baptiste soul avatar, and you see it also on the left in the museum. So that was quite fun to do, and I'll show you here more images of soul avatar. I think I did like 25 so far, 25 or 30, I don't know anymore. And so sometimes people get it tattooed instead of having the artwork on the wall, but that's just one client. The rest got them a frame. So it's really fun because so the essence question, I put them in a questionnaire, and the wonder question is actually like a list that Audrey Ezocam compiled of like so many wonder questions. And with Veronique that's on the call, we created categories and created a really fun process to choose like which wonder question you resonate with. That's really fun. And you'll see, I'll show you here more of the of the 3D showroom. So you see like this little house, this little funny house is actually the museum and the showroom. And you see from the top and inside, so that's all created in 3D. And you see like, I'll show you the last image. This one is actually quite funny because when I first started to draw the cards, it's actually a project that Suzy Baptiste produced, and she asked me to do the drawings. And when I started to draw the cards and to draw like something for gay, I was like connecting to like the like sort of the universal essence. Like I had like trouble connecting to like sort of gay because he felt like so like open and free and pure that I was like, I'm connecting to the universal essence of things. And so that's why actually on the cards there's actually two avatars, and this one is the universal essence of things. So which within each one of us is a clear open space that connects us to the same open space in others and to the universe itself. And so I'll show you like how I did that. And so they all have a specific, and actually like the cards are really fun. So it's something that you can get for yourself and explore. Each part of the drawing represents like a part of a category in the card. So like manifestation, genius joy, leaping, breathing, authentic creativity, conscious loving relationship. So they all have like a different areas of that. And I got like really inspired because it's funny how I often have this image coming back in my head. I'll show you here. Just a sec. The image of like sort of the man, like the evolution, and so I was like, this is where we are at the moment, and like sort of like connecting to like the breath and the creativity. And so like to change sort of the state of evolution and add that in sort of the drawing, instead of like going down and being like on our phones. It's like, okay, let's change that drawings and add that in. So that was quite cool to do. So that's the tree process I wanted to share with you. And I wanted to do like a little experiment with the time that we have left. Before we do the little experiment, do you have any question or anything you want to see more or not? That's okay also. Good. I don't know if I see all of
I just
you.
want to, I'll pop in and say, I'm really enjoying seeing just all of your creating, and it's very inspirational to me. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a lot of fun doing that. And so, does everybody have a piece of paper and pen in front of them? Close, is it possible? Yeah. And if you don't, we can just do it with your fingers. It doesn't. Okay, I think everybody's back. Cool. So you can place your pen and paper beside you. We won't be using it just right now. And I will ask you to close your eyes. The cat can leave his eyes open. Veronic's cat. Okay, so I imagine you close your eyes and you can put your hands on your legs or comfortably and feel your two feet on the ground. And feel our bum on the chair and feel our belly. And it's a place where we arrive there from above, not knowing why just yet. We feel attracted, pulled in within. Draw your human essence, your ice cream flavor. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Flip on your back, hands up in the air, open heart. Line by line, the invisible appears. Line by line, line by line, the answers emerge. Feet anchored in dance, ready to improvise at any time. Direct connection with my inner house, the universe that lives within me. Reminder, we are a complex organism, complete, exciting, and mysterious. At the intersection of the invisible that lives within us and what naturally wants to come to life, lives the field of possibilities. Here, an invitation to draw the invisible that lives within you and discover your human essence. Reminder, we are a complete organism, complex, exciting, and mysterious. And so slowly we're gonna feel ourselves in the room, feel our feet on the floor, and we're gonna take a deep breath, feeling our belly like a balloon. And when we're ready, we can open our eyes and take our pencil with our non-dominant hand. So if normally you write with the right hand, take your left hand and just make one line on your piece of paper without putting your pencil up. So it can be a scribble or circle or whatever. And when you did your line, you can just put it on the screen so I can see that you did it. Cool. Hey. Yay, I see cameras opening up. Amazing. Okay. And again, with your non-dominant hand, draw your favorite texture. And don't think about it too much. Just make like 1 or 2 lines thinking about your favorite texture. And when you're done, you can show it to me. Cool. And again, with your non-dominant hand, draw your favorite scents. Thank you, Véronique. Yay. Love it. A swirl. Cool. Thank you. And again, with your non-dominant hand, where do you most like to be? Thank you, Lisa. Oh, thanks. Yeah, cool. Amazing. Thanks for pointing out which one it was, Annie. Cool, thank you. Okay. Thanks for that. And now we're gonna do a little walk around the room that you are. And I want you to pick something in the room that represents you. In the room that you are right now. So you go, yeah, thank you, Diane. So you go foraging for something that's essence, quality for you. Amazing. Is it a candy, Mish? Oh, it's a rock. I thought it was a candy. Pen. Amazing. Love it. I love that. Oh, Michelle, you're little. And I'm curious if somebody would like to present what they forage in their room, which represents them. Would somebody be willing? Yeah.
I picked the plant because I love plants. And also they just never stop growing. And they shed old leaves and then they grow new ones, and it's just I feel like that.
That's amazing. It's actually a very good line. They never stop growing. I can make a drawing with that.
Yeah.
And quote you. Somebody else want to present their object?
This is mine. And it's a little Diane. It's a mini me. Somebody gave me the star, and the invitation was to draw something on it that was like my intention for the year. So it's me with a heart. So it's about self-love, and I'm dancing, but my face doesn't have an expression other than my closed eyes, because I want to dance no matter what, in harmony with no matter what. And the roses are symbolic to me. 3 roses, particularly about life and love, and living life and love, and laughter. Yeah. So and I made the arms a little more gold so that I can remember that the gold in me, and no matter what. And so it was
That's
easy for me to
amazing.
pick this up because I had it right here.
Yeah, it seemed like it was prepared. It was getting ready to.
I didn't
be
know, but
seen.
yes, thank you. Thank you. And so
Thank
my
you,
heart
Diane.
is getting more and more beams on it. It has it's expanding, hopefully. Yeah, thank you.
I love that. Thank you. That's something that I really enjoy about the Hendricks work, about everything about essence and the essence interview, and using and actually making our essence speak, and sometimes to just let it speak intuitively with no reason, just with lines, but actually to start having a conversation. My dog is going, that's Ernest, going on the couch, getting ready. And so I feel it's so revolutionary to be in dialogue with essence and just like talk about it or just draw it intuitively. There's something really soft about this that is like, I feel really soothing. And so I'm always interested in finding ways, like this thing with the object. I also do as an icebreaker before workshops, or if I'm in a Zoom meeting and I feel that we need a bit of connection, because it always ends up being people like speaking from essence, and we get a connection quite fast and understanding of people. So yeah, so it's quite simple. I mean, that's what I wanted to share with you. It's to also do things for no apparent reason, just to express and just have a conversation with essence. So is it like we did, like foraging in our own room, but also just drawing what comes up? It's to give a voice or a shape to what's inside, what's our invisible, because it's so fascinated that a lot of the world we're in, like, we don't see because it's inside. So to give it shape and to bodify it. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. I don't know if somebody has questions or comments or anything. I'm happy to answer. Yes, Michelle.
I just remembered a question I had earlier that I forgot. Can you share some of the wonder questions that you use?
I can share the document. I can share the document. I would have to find it in my computer. So, but I can share it. I won't have access to everybody. Maybe I can share it on the Mighty Network.
On the Mighty Networks, you could. Yeah. That would be great.
I can do that.
Thanks.
Wonder question might make works. I'll write myself a note. Cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
When people answer the wonder questions and you get like all the answers from someone who wants to have their soul avatar made, how do you get from the answers to an actual drawing?
Yeah, it's actually a really good question, and that's actually like completely intuitive. And this process takes quite a bit of time because I let the image emerge in me, so I don't wait in front of my drawing thing to make it. So I let the drawing emerge, and sometimes I don't even know what I'm drawing. So I have two funny examples that like a husband gave a soul avatar to his wife, and he managed that she answers the question as a game, a couple game, but it was actually to create her soul avatar. And I created the soul avatar, and I wasn't sure if I liked it. I wasn't sure was that what I was doing, but that was what came out. And so that's what I gave them. And they told me not long ago that at first they were a bit like, oh, like not sure about the look of it. But now this woman is actually like living her soul avatar. It's like what I had seen is being revealed now in her life. So she was like, okay, now I understand what you did, and I actually understood what I did. And so it's a dance with intuition after that. And recently, like I'm doing another one now, and I kept drawing disco balls, like disco balls, and I was like, why am I drawing disco balls? Like it was like nonstop, just disco balls. And I presented the soul avatar to the person last week, and he told me, he's like, Cath, like I never told anybody, but I have this thing inside me that wants to yell, that wants to shine, that wants to like show to the world. So it's so after that it's just a game of intuition and co-creating with the person. So yeah. Thanks for your question.
I have a question. What is your thinking about having us use the non-dominant hand for the drawing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, it comes from I now live from my drawings, but a long time in my life, I thought I couldn't draw because I draw quite naively. And so I had like anxieties and depression, like a lot of stuff related to like, I cannot draw. And so for me, the non-dominant hand is like giving a container to like, it's okay that you draw ugly. Like it's not about that. It's just about creating a movement with your hand on the paper, and it's not about what it looks like. So it's giving sort of a container so that we can actually like sort of bypass our like thoughts of the brain that like I cannot draw or this and that. And it's just like I also use a lot of just cutting paper. So instead of drawing, cutting in paper, because that's something that most people don't cut paper that much, so or rip paper. So actually you're not in a performance, or you're not trying to make something nice. So that's actually a good one also I find to play with.
Creates freedom.
Yeah, it's like actually it's like creating like play boxes creates even more freedom, because you feel safe of being in that box and like getting free in that box. So it's actually really interesting to play with, like sort of like put rules, remove rules, like it to play with that. For creativity is it's actually quite good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Cool. Yes, Linda, your mic
Hold
is.
on. Okay.
Oh, me.
I'm very curious. Your original pictures that you showed, they were so beautifully colorful, just
Mhm.
adorable. What are they? What are your figurines made of? How did you do those?
Actually, it's really cool. It's a friend of mine in Montreal that does 3D work. So it's actually in the computer, but his style is that it looks like Play-Doh. So it looks like it's Play-Doh, but it's actually computer generated. And so what's really fun with that is that I love playing also with perception. So it's like, okay, it's computer, but it actually looks like Play-Doh. And so it really plays also with how we perceive things and how we receive things. And it's not, so yeah, it's Play-Doh computer.
Wow. So is it actually a program? Like a software?
It's a software that you create in 3 dimensions. So instead of drawing with a pen in the computer or drawing in Photoshop, it's actually like a 3D program. So you see a lot of animation films now that are created in 3D. So it's this similar program, and you can put like, it's, I don't know how to explain it. My first language is French, but it's like you actually can apply effects to objects. So you create, like, for instance, like a house, and you can say, I want the house to be more like glass or like wood or like Play-Doh. And so you create algorithms and programs so that the 3D has different aspects. It's quite interesting what you can do with computers now.
Jeez. Okay. But your drawings look a lot to me like I keep thinking of Miro or Picasso when I see your stuff. It's that kind of a feeling. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really fun. Colors are wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks. Thank you for your attention and jumping in with us tonight. It was it's always fun and scary to share, but I was happy to do it.
Well, I'm super appreciating you doing it, and I had a great time tonight. I loved seeing the Hendricks work through a totally new view that I haven't ever seen before. So I really appreciate that. And I'm looking down at my picture, and I was thinking when I would put it up, wow, it looked a lot better up it through that view than when I'm looking down at it.
Oh, really?
So that was funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
funny.
interesting. I don't know what was up with that, but that was just a funny observation I had for myself.
So it looked better on the computer screen, like when you were looking at the.
Yeah, when I held it up, I was like, those lines look smooth. Like here, it looks like a 2-year-old wrote it. So it's just funny. Yeah,
that's actually a trick that I use. Like if I don't know if I like a drawing, I take a picture of it and I look at it on my phone on the picture, and I'm like, oh, I think I like it. It's like sometimes to get like sort of a different view, it helps. I don't know, it's funny. I use that sometimes.
I like that you said that, because I had that thought. I thought, well, what was that? Why did it look so different when I held it up? Did anyone else notice that for yourselves? Did it look different when you were holding it up? I'm curious. A little bit? Yeah, Veronique. Yeah, it was just a funny experience, but I was curious about that, and I'll continue to be curious for myself. But I like that idea too, taking a picture. It's different. It's a different medium, right? It's like it is.
Yeah,
it changes it. So
it is.
Well, thank you so much, Cath. I really appreciate you, and so appreciating everyone who showed up tonight and played with us.
Thank you, Cath. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
It's
nice
fun.
evening.
Good to play.
Bye
Yes.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.